作为一个主持人真的很不简单，那因为疫情，视讯变成常态， Clubhouse 开房间也变成主流，那到底要如何让好的对话能继续，而且专业的让来宾不离题呢？ Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管双语沟通力的 podcast， 我们希望带给大家最实用的沟通工具，包括了成功人士对全球市场的分享，职场英语的技能，跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。 Hi, I'm Sherry, founder of Executive Plus. As a language trainer and certified coach, I've trained hundreds of managers from Fortune 500 companies such as Dior, Google, Deloitte, and Yahoo.
And I'm Nick, Director of Communication Strategy at Presentality.I've helped startups raise millions of US dollars in funding and train the executives of publicly listed companies to present on the global stage.
Welcome to the Executive Plus podcast,
where you can take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everyone, welcome back to Executive Plus podcast episode 53.This episode is inspired a bit by the emergence of Clubhouse, and in our own experience, what can make a Clubhouse host really great versus someone who needs a lot more work. Now, this is also incredibly applicable to running conference calls or in-person meetings. The key ideas today are: how do you stop a conversation that's off topic or going on a tangent?Or how do you get deep into a really interesting conversation?
所以当然我相信大家都知道 Clubhouse， 那 Clubhouse 开房间非常多的人也会上去听，那我们最近也常常去不同的 Clubhouse 的房间，不管是台湾的或者是国外的，我们也都去做一些观察。那好的 interview 就变成 它非常 insightful， 它有很好的 information。那比较不是那么专业的 interview 就变成是一些聊天， It basically becomes chatting.
Yeah, just going anywhere and everywhere, and so dropping in mid-conversation becomes really hard to follow.
Exactly. 那当然这个技巧其实在对于我们常常在做视讯开会或者是实体开会都非常的有用，也就是当你变成是主持人，或者你不是主持人，但是你是某一个主管的时候，你必须要有效的能够让离题的时候赶快抓回来，或者是你应该怎么深入一个很好的 conversation， 让有更好的 results 能够在这个会议能够产生。所以我们今天想要跟大家分享一些非常好用的一些片语，能够帮助大家在开会或者是主持任何会议的时候。
So when a topic is going on a tangent or really going away from the key idea that you want to make, there's two great phrases to bring back: to circle back and to table that. And when listening to very well-structured clubhouses, I'll notice the hosts will usually use one of these two phrases to stop a conversation and get back. So they may use a whole sentence, or they may say something like,This is a really interesting thought, but I'd like to circle back to our main conversation.
Yeah. 所以这样子的方式其实它是非常专业也非常有礼貌的。当然 honestly, this is kind of like, a side thing. A lot of times I did hear a lot of hosts would go, hold on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a rude way of doing it. They'll be like, hold on, just stop. Just hold on. That's not what we're talking about. And that can be very abrupt and feel a bit...impolite. Now, they're trying to get things back to the reason why we joined the room, but it can be like, oh, okay.
没错 yeah. 其实在美国的文化来讲，可能如果当你已经非常了解那个文化的话，他们可能可以非常的 direct。所以当你讲 hold on 那样子，这种时候可能在那个情况是 OK， 但是当我们在开会的时候，就像刚刚 Nick 所讲的，我们用 to circle back或 to table that 会比较更是专业而且是很有礼貌的做法。那这样子通常对方也不会觉得说他好像被阻止了，他会想说 OK， 那至少我们待会儿再来讨论这个问题。
A lot of times when they're trying to get someone to stop, someone who does it a little more politely, you'll hear something that's like, oh, I'm really sorry to interrupt you, or apologies for interrupting you, but I'd like to circle back, or can we table this conversation for now and go back to our main topic?
Right. So this will really allow that the meeting kind of go smoothly, right?
Right. Yeah. And we've all been in meetings that have taken huge circles and then you completely forget either why you're in that meeting or what's supposed to be going on.
那接下来呢，我们想要来提供给大家一个非常有用的一些 phrase， 也就是当我们已经 hit 到了一个重点，比如说这个人他讲到一个重点，你想要再多一点 detail， 或者你想要再 find out more about that specific topic， 我们有一些 phrases。For example， 你可以说 take a closer look at something. Take a closer look at something. Or you can say to unpack. To unpack. Yeah.
Right. And these phrases you'll actually hear interviewers, really good interviewers, use quite often to get someone to just continue their line of thought. And moving them into that meeting situation, they can be a great way to dive deeper into a conversation. So you may say something like, I really like your point, and I'd like to take a closer look at, and then get into detail about what you want to say. Or, this is getting really interesting. I'd like to unpack that last point.
Yeah, I personally really like unpack because, I can kind of visualize
that.
Yeah,
you can visualize like someone has this really interesting like backpack full of good thoughts and then you just open it and start pulling stuff out.
Exactly. Yeah. So the next one, 好了 next one 我觉得其实当你不是主持人也没有关系，我们通常在开会的时候至少我们要发个声嘛，讲个话。So how do you get your word in, okay? A lot of people find it very difficult to just say anything in a meeting.
Right. So either if you're a host and then you have two powerful people just like arguing it out and then you want to jump in there, or, again, a lot of times people do want to participate. They do want to say something. So you can use a few phrases to jump in there. First phrase being, on top of that. So on top of that means, person A said something, and then I just want to expand what they had to say a little bit. On top of that, we can also blah, blah, blah.
就很像我们平常in addition, 或者是 and, 基本上就是我们也可以讲 on top of that. 那另外一种方式就是如果对方讲了一句话，他们讲了一个重点，那你可以就是一样跟 on top of that 是一样的意思，你可以说 to echo what Jack said.
Yeah, you'll hear this phrase quite often on a panel where a host will ask a panel of people one question, and maybe the first person has a really solid answer, so the second person will just go, yeah, I like her answer. Or they'll just say, to echo what that person said, and then say something similar but with their own twist.
So the last one, 其实我蛮喜欢的，而且我最近真的是因为视讯常常听到这个 phrase， 就是 to piggyback off what someone said. 我觉得蛮喜欢这个 piggyback. 这 piggyback 到底是什么意思啊？
So piggyback is, parents probably feel this, when a child gets onto your back and almost like you have a child backpack, right? Usually their arms are wrapped around your neck, legs are wrapped around your waist. This is piggybacking. Now, to piggyback, you need to be a bit careful because there's a negative connotation and a positive connotation. What we're talking about is like to piggyback off of what someone said is similar to echo. Like this person said A, I agree and I want to expand. So I'm going to piggyback. But be careful because if you say to piggyback off someone can also mean that you're taking advantage of them.
没错，所以用 piggyback 的时候稍微小心一点。那你如果说 to piggyback off what Nick said 这样子，其实跟 on top of that to echo what he said 这是一样的用法。但是如果你要说 to piggyback off Nick's work，就表示我好像利用他的意思一样。
Yeah, if I'm like, you really piggyback off of your parents, that it's just like your parents give you everything. You're not really doing anything for yourself.
Yeah. So 希望今天所提供大家这一些片语能够帮助大家在主持会议，或者是能够帮助你在会议上面多发声。
We hope that these phrases help you and that you'll keep things going in the future. Talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
如果你喜欢我们的 podcast， 欢迎来追踪我们的主管英文 Executive Plus 的 Facebook。那也可以写信到我们的信箱 yourcareerplus@gmail.com。